How's it going, folks? You're very welcome to today's class where we're starting a brand new topic, which is coastal landscapes. Okay, so guys, you think when you ever go to the beach or whatever, you know, you see sand, you might see a bay or a headland, you might see a kind of a cliff, and those things are there because of the power of the sea. Okay, if you look at a map of Ireland, for example, you'll notice the west of Ireland is a very kind of rough, indented coastline, whereas the east of Ireland is a lot smoother. Okay, and the reason why the west of Ireland is such a rough coastline is because of this fella here, the Atlantic Ocean. So the Atlantic Ocean has eroded Ireland's coast forever, basically. Okay, and that's why Ireland has got all these kind of bays and headlands and these kind of jagged edges to it. Meanwhile, in the east of Ireland, we have just the Irish Sea, which is a small little sea which hasn't done a whole lot of erosion. Okay, and we're going to look at what causes erosion now. And the only thing that causes erosion, and the thing that shapes the coastlines in general, are these fellas here, waves. Okay, very, very straightforward, guys. Waves. So when you go to the beach and you stand there on the sand and you feel the waves coming in around your feet, those you might think, God, they're only small little waves. They're not significant. Well, those waves actually are what shape our coastline. Those waves are the reason why we have sandy beaches. They're the reasons why we have bays and headlands, and they're the reasons why we have sea cliffs. Okay, and waves are really, really important. And waves are caused by one thing, which is wind. Okay, waves are formed by wind. Very, very simple. So when wind blows across the surface area of the sea, it blows water. Okay, if you fill up a sink full of water and you blow on that water, you'll see the kind of ripple effect. The water will be pushed over away from you because you're blowing it. Okay, wind is the exact same effect on the sea. And when the wind blows toward the sea towards our coastline, that can have an effect. That can either erode our coastline or can shape our coastline in other ways. Okay, and some waves are very powerful, some waves are very weak. Okay, so the wave power depends on two things. Okay, and that is the wind speed. So obviously, if there's a really bad wind, the waves are going to be more powerful and more destructive, and also the wind fetch. So that's the distance that the wind blows. Okay, so if we look here, guys, in the diagram, you'll see wind and then the fetch. So the fetch, if the wind blows over a long kind of distance, that'll create stronger waves as well. If the wind is just powerful, that'll create. So if the wind is going like 100 miles an hour, that'll create very strong winds as well. Okay, and the more powerful the wind and the longer the fetch, the bigger the waves will be. Okay, now waves happen in two kind of forms. Okay, so the first part of a wave that hits the beach is called a swash. Okay, so if we look here, guys, in the diagram, very, very simple. You can see, so when the wave hits the beach, so if you were standing here on the beach, when that wave hits your feet, that's called a swash. Okay, and when the wave starts to retreat back out to sea after this, that's called a backwash. Okay, so it's a bit like if you go to drink a bottle of Coke, and then you drink the bottle of Coke, and then you put the Coke down. When that Coke, if you backwash that, if some of that Coke goes into your mouth and then goes back into the bottle when you put it down, that's a backwash. Same thing with a wave. Okay, so the swash is when the wave hits the beach, hits your feet. The backwash is when the wave retreats back out to sea. Okay. And the swash and the backwash can do things. So the swash can sometimes erode the sea. The backwash can sometimes carry sediment back down to shore. Okay, so the swash, guys, will carry bits of sand and stuff up to sea level here, and then the backwash will carry bits of sediment back out to shore. Okay, very, very straightforward. And there are two types of waves in total. Okay, we've got a constructive wave and a destructive wave. Okay. And a constructive wave, guys, very simply, what's a constructive wave do? A constructive wave will construct or build something. Okay, so a constructive wave, guys, might build a beach. Okay, it might drop sand at a coastline and form a beach. A destructive wave might damage a coastline. So a destructive wave, for example, could erode a cliff. Okay, could erode a bay or a headland. Very, very straightforward. So we'll look at a constructive wave first. A constructive wave, guys, has a strong swash. So the thing that hits the coastline is strong. Okay, that's a constructive wave. And a constructive wave will have a weak backwash. Okay, so the backwash, the wave that goes back out to sea, is very weak. Okay, and what happens here, guys, is a strong swash. So the wave that hits the beach has a lot of energy. So what that'll do is that'll transport sediment up to the beach. Okay, but then the weak backwash, okay, doesn't have the energy to transport that sediment back out to sea. So what does the backwash do? When the backwash is retreating back out to sea, it's slow, so it simply drops the sediment on the beach. And this will form a beach, guys, okay, constructive wave. Okay, so again, the strong swash goes up the beach, and then it stops, and then it as it retreats back down, it doesn't have a lot of energy, so it just drops its load. It drops bits of sand and shingle onto the beach, and that's basically, guys, what forms sandy beaches. Okay, very, very straightforward. Now, a destructive wave has a weak swash and a stronger backwash. Destructive waves erode sediment from the shore, and destructive waves happen in poor weather during the winter months when waves have more energy. So, guys, in a destructive wave, what happens is so the wave hits the swash. The swash is weak and it hits the cliff face or the beach, and then the backwash is strong. So what the backwash does is the backwash then washes sediment away. So, for example, the backwash, if there's a strong backwash, guys, it might take sediment from the beach and bring it away, and that's eroding the beach. Okay, if you think back to our previous couple of chapters, guys, where we looked at beach defenses stop destructive waves destroying the beach. Okay, so to recap, guys, your constructive wave is constructing something. So it's got a strong swash, and that swash will carry sediment to the beach. And then the weak backwash is so weak that it can't bring the sediment back out, so it drops the sediment there. This can form a beach. Your destructive wave has got a weaker swash but a very strong backwash. So the weak swash will hit the beach, and then the strong backwash will pull that bits of sediment off the beach. Okay, and guys, what I want you to do now is I want you to in your copy take down this entire slide. So take down the slide, the point on constructive waves, the point on destructive waves, and your diagram here. And then there are 4 questions on the last slide I want you to answer, guys. Thanks very much for watching. Any issues, please drop